What's up guys, it's USA Specialist, and Battlefield may have saved the worst for last when it comes to their map.
Highly trained soldiers with no country left to fight for.
The US and Russia are both being accused of fielding armed no-pats in an escalating fight over vital resources.
Now, I know I'm a little late to the party here as I was away for a few weeks, but because of that, I got to play 2042's last map on both a high-end PC as well as an Xbox Series S to end up with this review. I've gotten to sit with Stadium for a few weeks, run dozens of games on it, and ultimately I think this map is perhaps not the final note we wanted Battlefield 2042 to end on. Now, as we all know, fans were upset with the removal of the Stadium when we got Hourglass 2.0. However, at no point do I think the fanbase was asking for the Stadium to return as a standalone map, much less so with no major changes. The Stadium in the original Hourglass was a fan favorite area because it was one of the few places on that map that offered a sense of structure, lane design, and player agency. While the rest of the map was open fields and empty buildings, the Stadium offered a glimpse into a map that could have been an interesting take on urban warfare. A massive city built around a sports complex where nature has taken over, burying parts of the environment and creating interesting gameplay encounters. Something similar to Siege of Shanghai's focus around its central skyscraper with the ability to travel the map on land, air, and sea. However, DICE, in all their laziness, instead took the worst vanilla map in the game and decided to make two for the price of one. Two dogshit maps both cut from the same recycled concept and assets. One, a massive open wasteland lacking any interesting movement strategy or mechanics, and the other a dumpster fire of pitch-black hallways, head glitches, and scattered assets. Like I said in a prior video, Stadium is the perfect map for this game to end on. A half-baked, problematic, recycled, unpolished experience that feels like it was never playtested nor cared about. DICE honestly took the worst map in the game, divided it into smaller pieces, and then called it something new. They hid Stadium for weeks until the final trailer, where they then referred to it as a new map and acted like it was a worthy send-off as they cut support. While Stadium can offer some fun with its tight, high-speed infantry combat, in general it feels like a rushed, last-minute idea that's ultimately a kick in the balls to all the fans who've stuck with the game since 2021. A fitting end to a game that has done everything it can to under-deliver and spit in the face of its supporters. But, like usual, hit subscribe and let's break it down into the good, the bad, and the ugly. Now, if this map had come out a few months ago, my main praise would have been that Stadium offers a new type of gameplay, in the form of tight, sweaty infantry combat. But at this point, this late in the game, maps like Redacted, Renewal, and even Haven already satisfy that craving, all with their own flavor. Stadium again offers this tight, sweaty CQB gameplay, just in an even tighter and even more chaotic pace. While most of the time, in my opinion, it feels like a disconnected cluster, there are moments it all comes together. Also, unlike Redacted, and even more so than Haven, Stadium offers a lot of verticality in its gameplay, in a way that actually adds strategy and decision-making, unlike the verticality in something like Exposure. The tunnels, Stadium seating, and elevator shafts all interconnect in ways that allow the player to really navigate the map in a three-dimensional way, something that's very different from a map like Redacted. And finally, while Stadium is recycled, it's a map that makes use of an interesting environment with interesting angles, lanes, and movement. Case in point, the ability to go out into the stadium seating and rush around the enemy is countered by snipers, a totally different type of engagement than what would happen on Redacted if you tried that same strategy. If anything, Stadium is an interesting environment that offers interesting movement, position, and unique encounters, but is held back by a wide range of issues. Now, when it comes to the core issues of Stadium, it gets boiled down into a combination of problems from all of Battlefield 2042's maps, now just distilled into one tight, never-ending cluster. Visibility, head glitching, ratting, and camping, combined with muddy audio, create an experience where players essentially just need to keep jumping around, cutting corners, and rushing in and out of engagements.
Are you f***ing kidding me?
Instead of a tight-knit, strategic CQB push and pull, Stadium is all about getting kills where you can, and then avoiding conflict as much as possible, dipping in and out of engagements until they shake up in your favor, running up and down stairs, zipping up and down elevators, and laying in corners until a group of enemies walks up and you can pounce. While this can lead to some great multi-kills, because of the dark corners, head glitching, and messy environment, the map sort of takes away the player agency and causes everyone to play reactively, spamming grenades, ducking out of engagements, and hip-firing through smoke. The concept of a stadium as a central CQB part of a larger environment is great, but the way that this map currently forces upwards of 64 players into dark, messy corridors just creates a mosh pit with little player agency or gameplay options. But in true 2042 fashion, the map design is weak, but the story of how we got here is much worse. Now, when reviewing a map or any aspect of 2042, it's often hard to separate the actual content from the marketing, failures, and narrative of DICE and EA's handling of the franchise. Often we get decent content but are met with sentiments such as too little too late, or this should have been there at release. And I often feel I have to straddle a line where I praise good content but also leave a disclaimer that it doesn't excuse DICE and EA's mishandling of the bigger picture. However, Stadium is perhaps the worst scenario for this sort of dichotomy. While the map is pretty bad on its own, it's made out of recycled assets taken from the worst vanilla map and sold back to the fans as something they're calling anew, all the while it's the final map, marking what should have been a beautiful send-off as simply another low point in the worst period in this franchise history. Stadium is the embodiment of DICE's laziness or carelessness. While Battlefield 5 got a massive send-off with the Pacific DLC, and Battlefield 4 was bolstered with huge amounts of new content, DICE and EA seem happy to let 2042 die with a whimper. And for the most part, I'm okay with that. It's more so how they continue to hype up these last few content drops, instead of being transparent with fans and explaining how they're busy at work with the next game, so we should lower our expectations as resources are removed from 2042. But instead they knew exactly what they were doing, hiding any reference of Stadium until days before its release. They knew it was a weak final chapter, and instead of being transparent, saying how Stadium should be seen as a bonus map thrown in at the very end, they instead marketed it as new and utilized it as a bullet point to sell their last battle pass. Overall, Stadium is a weak map that comes at a bad time. While like many 2042 maps, there are good aspects, like its use of verticality, but ending the story of 2042's live service on a rework of a rework of the worst map in the game, with recycled assets thrown haphazardly as far as the eye can see, with bad visibility and spammy gameplay, might make this Battlefield 2042's worst map in quite some time. But guys, drop your comments below and tell me what you think. For everything else Battlefield, stay tuned and subscribe, and as always, thank you guys for watching.